for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
and to the
indivisible,
republic
with liberty and justice for all.
One nation under God,
indivisible,
with
with liberty and
justice for all.
all.
It's hard to keep that all together because of our different speeds on our internet. I got a big excuse.
Still beautiful. I'm sorry.
Jenny, can we get a roll call?
Richard Horner,
I'm here.
Christine Newman,
Here.
Diane Dennis,
Here.
Diana Coots,
Here.
Sarah Tiley,
Here.
Jim McPhail is absent, and Lois Tiley is also absent.
Thank you. Are there any changes or adjustments to the agenda? If not, we'll accept the agenda as presented. Any announcements or public comments?
None.
That sounds none. Okay, we'll move on. Anybody have any questions on the engineering report? We have a person that can answer, I'm sure. Hey, John.
Well, good evening. It's nice to hear everybody's voices. It's been way too long.
Very funny.
Yeah. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. It's kind of might be a little difficult by phone, but hey, we'll try.
Well, I have a question. You're talking about our water system improvements as though we for sure were going on, and I have big concerns about the money situation as we go forward. Not only as a village, but also the people. And so I'm just wondering your input on this, I guess.
Well, your community is in the same shape that a lot of communities are in right now, in which tax base is falling and revenues are way short for this year. It is a valid concern to be talking about money with a large capital project such as the water project. So I think what we need to do is keep moving forward, but like you said, it's not a done deal. We need to just keep our eye on it and move forward, and if it's something that's not affordable, we need to stop or proceed with something that is affordable.
Okay, because that was just my huge concern there, because I thought, I was seeing these and I thought, we don't know what our money's going to look like really from 1 month to the next right now. So, and I think that's true for the people, our residents here too. So, okay, that's just my question.
Wonderful.
Is Spruce Street and Cherry Street resurfacing something new, or did I miss it?
That is something new that was on the streets asset management plan. That project is I believe out another year or two. I don't have that right in front of me.
Well, it just says the village is pursuing a Category B grant.
That is the village's grant that I was instructed to go after full monies for.
Okay, so we've done that. We've applied for that.
We have.
Okay.
Hey,
Are you putting that together?
I did with the help of John, yes.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Is Mr. Olson going to be around when we get to talk about sidewalks, or is he going to leave the meeting shortly?
That's entirely up to you. If you want me to stick around, I can stick around. if you want to talk amongst yourself and send me questions tomorrow, that is fine too. Whatever you like.
Okay, yeah,
Well, if you got the time.
can you stick around if
Yeah.
you can? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, I can stick around for a little bit.
Can we move it up a little bit so that he can leave?
That would be
why
wonderful.
not.
Does it cost us to have you sit around and wait?
Right now, I am not on the clock for you. So, no,
Okay.
it's not going to cost you anything.
You can just sit and wait.
Thanks.
Okay. If there's nothing further on the engineering report, let's move on to the council minutes approval for June 17th. Are there any corrections?
Now,
I
I don't have any corrections, but question, I guess, towards the end when, I guess, because I wasn't there last meeting, why we would even consider removing signs around Union Court.
Removing
oh,
one?
the stop signs.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, that was me. And I had several people come up to me and ask why we have all those four-way stops. And they would like it to go back to where Flint Street is a straight through. And some of the other ones, and that we don't need all four-way stops all the way around that section that used to be the school.
okay, but are these people who see the multiple vehicles that run those stop signs anyway?
I'd
I
hate,
mean,
I'd hate
I
to,
personally-
I hate,
Yeah, I think it's for people that are so used to it that they never got used to the stop signs.
I'd hate
And
to,
so they end up stopping like in the middle of the intersection.
I hate to interject, but this is letter C in old business, and we will discuss it then, if that's okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you,
oh, that's what that is? Okay. Gotcha.
thank you.
Then I make the
Okay,
motion we
anything
accept the
else?
minutes as presented.
Second?
I'll second it. Coots.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Pass. You know, we're gonna have to get you rubber fingers on that keyboard, Art.
I'm sorry. I can,
We can hear you pounding away on your keyboard.
because we are, closed, I have
Yeah,
to
I
close
know.
caption this, so.
It was just funny. Let's move on to payment of claims. Any questions on the material?
I'll make a motion to approve the payment of claims in the amount of $187,457.02.
Support for that?
I support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Claims are passed. Moving on to new business. Impound vehicle policy. You want to explain that, Howard, or you want Scott to?
Scott.
This is an idea that came from Julie, and we put it together to try to drum up some money and bring some consistency. We get a lot of calls from the two major towing companies, not sure if they can release a vehicle, and so we figured this is one way to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Drum up a little bit of money for the police department as well, and if Julie, you'd like to speak to this, I'd be happy to let you.
The impound fees,
The other
are,
municipalities in the area do that. Saginaw County and a lot of your other, or some of your other smaller municipalities.
most of the, well, everything in Saginaw County does do that, and actually a lot of Midlands County as well. The big difference that we've found is, most of the time it's over a $50, $75 fee. And, we didn't feel like, that was necessary here. It does about a trifold effect for us. One, it leaves a little consistency, as Hart had stated, with our tow truck companies. Two, it kind of will streamline paperwork, so if there's something missed or if somebody doesn't have to turn in a piece of paper, you'll definitely get it the second time around, so it'll alleviate some gaps in paperwork. It also provides a little bit of revenue. It also gives people in the door here, and you guys are going to hear me talk a lot about just connecting with people. I want to know who's driving through town. I want to know what they're up to, where they're at, where they live. You know, if they belong here, then hey, what can we do to, you know, create village culture? And if they don't, then, you know, make sure that they're, you know, taking care of business when they are in the village. Those people then get run through lean, and if I have any other law enforcement issues that I can deal with, I will at that point. More than likely, I have some reason to have them walk into my office initially anyway, so it's just a good opportunity again to make that contact with people and provide a small amount of revenue.
You have any problems with that, Julie?
What, building contacts with people?
No,
No,
about
the impound fee.
the impound fee.
Are you asking my personal opinion?
Well, yeah, your professional opinion.
Okay, all right. You know what, I'm good with that. I was in agreement with Hart. It doesn't need to be as high as the county is $75 a piece. If I'm taking the time to impound that car, I promise you, it's taken a lot of my time.
Has joined the meeting.
And there's, you know, so a little bit of accountability to people, maybe to take care of their business, and also just to, again, add a little revenue when it's costing me time and money to sit there and wait for a tow truck. And if I'm towing it, there's probably a reason, so, or impounding it, I should say.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, I have two questions.
Okay.
First of all, who just joined the meeting? Somebody just joined. Who just joined?
Call-in user 8 is all that shows up here.
But it should have said their name, right?
No, not necessarily.
It's called, the person that just joined,
It's probably just a resident or some other.
be nice if they tell us who they are. No?
Anyway.
I have a question on,
Okay.
okay, I have a question on the impound thing, okay?
Okay.
Are you gonna create a piece of paper then, Julie, that when somebody comes in, that you will give them a paper that their vehicle is released because they paid their fee, and then they take that to the tow place?
Hart already created that form, and we're gonna streamline that, but absolutely, it's gonna be essential for the record keeping portion of revenue, and also, just like I said, keeping the paperwork with the tow companies streamlined.
Okay.
In other places, they're done in duplicate. The customer gets one along with a receipt, but I don't see why they need that. But anyway, the customer gets one, and then the village keeps one, so they know where the car went and what happened to it.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct, and the state requires that I have that as well, so that's part of the law enforcement policies.
Yes.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
Chris, and I have a question. Who decided on $25?
That was just a discussion between Julie and I. We thought 75 was too high. We thought 50
What's
was.
wrong with 50?
We thought 50 was a little high. Most times when people are going to get their car out from impound, they normally have financial troubles to begin with, whether they couldn't pay their tabs.
40?
I think 25 is just fine. You know, the fact of it is they're gonna have to pay the towing company too.
Correct.
And this way,
But
if
that's
it was
not a
large,
problem. That just gives the towing company money.
But here's the thing, $25 is better than no money whatsoever. So 25, I feel like is perfectly fine.
Yeah. Okay.
And in the future, you can always raise it.
That's correct.
It's not-
Yeah, at any
It's not
point in
written
time,
in
if you
stone.
guys wanna look at raising that, we also don't wanna necessarily create a burden. We are just hoping to, again, just create some revenue and create some, streamlining and some accountability, so.
Okay.
Are there any further questions? If not, do I hear a motion to accept this policy?
I make a motion, we accept resolution 20-4, a resolution establishing a vehicle impound release fee.
Support?
I'll support.
That was Dennis.
Vote? Take the vote. Jenny, you want to take a vote?
Christine Newman,
Yes.
Diane Dennis,
Oh, God.
Okay.
Somebody's dog. That's my dog in the background.
Oh, I was gonna say we figured out who caller 8 was.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing.
Diane Dennis,
Okay.
Did you say my name, Jenny Dennis?
yes, I did.
Oh, yeah.
Diana Coots,
Yes.
Sarah Tiley,
Yes.
Richard Horner,
Yes.
and Jim McPhail is absent, as well as Lois Tiley.
Okay.
Motion carried. Moving on. Next one is the building permit fee. Who got the explanation of this one?
Well, this was brought to my attention
Well, or is it,
by Mr. Crowfoot, something that we did in the past, and he, with his experience in the city of Saginaw, was looking to get back into this. And so, Scott, if you want to talk to this, please.
Okay. All right, I would like to propose building fee changes. Currently, the fees that are in place were put there by Rob Kehoe. There was no, that I could find anywhere, proposal or approval by the council. But with that being said, what I'd like to propose is that we change our permit fee schedule to mirror the state of Michigan. And if we do that, it will increase the fees slightly, and it'll help to cover the cost running the building and zoning department by increasing the income generated for each permit. Now, it's not designed to make a profit, it's just designed to break even and pay for the department. Examples, a new 20 by 30 garage / full barn is currently bringing in a permit fee of $75, where under the new schedule, that fee would be $201. And a new 1,920 square foot home, and I use this, this is a home that was recently built in the area, is currently bringing in a permit fee of $795, while under the new schedule, that fee would be $1,259. In addition to these changes, I would like to propose fee changes also to the electrical, mechanical, and plumbing permit applications to mirror surrounding townships. The current application fee is $45. I'd like to raise that to $50. The additional inspection fee, I want to increase that from $40 to $50. And the final inspection fee, I want to increase that from $40 to $50. And the reason for that is currently we're paying $50 per inspection, but only charging $40. So we're losing money.
Okay. Some of the housing, that took a big jump from $795 to $1,259.
Yeah.
Some of them look a little scary, but we have to pay for whatever it is. We have to charge, whatever we're gonna have to pay for, that's the truth. So.
Correct. And currently our fees are based on contractor or owner supplied values of the property or the work being done. And what the process does with the state program is it's based on a square foot construction cost table. And once you figure out the square footage of the home, you multiply that by a multiplier depending on what's being built, materials being used, and type of use. And then you figure out an actual value. So under the old method for a 1,920 square foot home, with a value given by the owner contractor of 150,000, when I throw that into the new schedule, the value on that jumps from 150,000 to 366,105.
Right.
And that's what brings it up.
You mean like, you use more like the true value of the house?
Absolutely. And it's based
Yeah.
on figures compiled by the state of Michigan.
Contractors never tell the truth, okay?
Hey, wait a minute. I'm a contractor.
I think it looks good.
Any other questions? Do I hear a motion to accept resolution 2020-5?
I make a motion to accept resolution number 2020-5, the building permit fee schedule.
Is there support?
I have a question.
Sure.
Should it be 2020-5 or just 20-5?
To stay in,
Shouldn't we keep our numbering, the same?
consistent, yes, that is correct. I believe it should be
So 20-5.
20-5,
I'll support it, change that then, right?
yes.
I read off the paper.
You did,
That's my
that's
fault.
wrong. Not your fault, Diane.
That's fine.
Glad I agreed it up.
Doesn't matter.
We still need a support.
I support. Newman.
Okay. Roll call.
Christine Newman,
Yes.
Diane Dennis,
Yes.
Diana Coops,
Yes.
Sarah Tiley,
Yes.
Richard Horner,
Yes.
Jim McPhail is absent, and Lois Tiley also absent.
Motion passed.
Thank you.
Moving on, part-time. You're welcome. Moving on, part-time police, Julie Church.
All right.
What the? There, Julie?
Yep, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Occasionally.
All right, let's try
There's
that.
so
Is
much
that a
room
little
echo.
better? Is that a little better?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you on a phone?
No, I'm here in the office.
Oh, okay.
Well, I want to start out quickly by letting you guys know, if you haven't heard the rumor, I'm trying to keep it kind of low key for right now, but I moved into the village last week.
Good.
So,
Good.
Good. Congratulations.
thank you. Yep, I didn't know
Yeah.
how far that's gone yet, but if you want more information about that, you just let me know, and I can give you the info on that. Kind of like, I laugh because I think of like Batman or Superman, you know, those guys are in their town and they kind of take ownership in that. And I think in the position that I need to do that. So that was important for me and so that's what I got to do. And still a little bit in the process of doing this week is getting myself in. So along with some other superheroes,
Okay.
they all ended up with either a partner or a team that they work with. And So that's what I'm looking to create right now, is kind of my team of superheroes. As chief, my goal is for us to be a community-oriented police department. I've been at work, you guys have been into the office, we've been cleaning and organizing and really restructuring the department at the state level and even just in the community, becoming a part of activities and things that are going on here. With some time, a little bit of grace, guidance, and support, I'm looking into the next step to really become a department that fulfills the needs of the village. One major shortfall that we have right now is in just man coverage hours. In the packets that you received, the calendar for June and July were attached. The total number of hours that the village is covered by our police department is shown on that, on those 2 months calendars. There's been a small change in July with the second part-timer giving me his day availability. So the July schedule changed a little bit. So if you're looking for that for something for hours, then I'll send you guys the new July schedule. But the hours will just be increased by 8 in the month. Officer Berg is going to be going on vacation the last 2 weeks of July, the first week of August. I am going to be going on a couple of missions trips this fall and winter. I'm going to go to Mexico and actually hopefully Africa this year. Our desire to create a relationship with the school is still very, very important to us. It's just going to be essential in creating that community policing that we desire to obtain to. I'm struggling though with the reality of the fact that there's just no officers available, so I'm requesting 2 part-timers. I'd like to hire one immediately and then maybe wait until the fall or just before winter to hire a second one. So I'm just
A
going to
second
leave this open.
part-timer or a full-timer?
We're looking at initially 2 part-time. And then we'll see kind of how things fall in the new year as far as moving toward a full-timer.
How many hours a week are you looking for your 2 part-timers?
I'm looking at 30 hours apiece per week per part-timer.
I feel like we need it, so I'll definitely give you all my support.
Any other comments or questions?
Julie, did I hear you correctly? You were gonna start off with 1 part-timer first at 30 hours a week?
Yeah, I want to get one started right away as we look at the summer and the fall. If I'm gone and my 1 part-timer's gone, then we've got light coverage and we just want to be able to take care of that immediate need and then see how kind of the future holds, what happens with the school. That's going to be a real deciding factor as far as some hours and where they're allocated. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, but definitely want to be involved in that. Even with the changing things going on there, they're still going to need some
There's so
participation
many
in the police
unknowns.
department.
We might have to do one now and then see what happens and then approve another one later. Is that what you are meaning?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, that if we do part-timers, we should
Has
do
left
one
the
and then.
Do
Okay,
you have
somebody
someone
just,
in mind, Julie?
Yeah, it was definitely one now, and then let's wait a little while to do a second one.
Yes, do you know of one right now?
Has joined the meeting.
I have tried
Has
to
joined the
keep not really pick anyone at this point. One of my big concerns, and I've had several conversations with Hart about this, is I want the right person in here. And it's going to probably take a little bit of time. but we're gonna have some expectations, of people that we bring in. So I don't have anyone at this point,
Okay.
specific, but,
Who's all on the department right now? There's you and Berg.
And Crooks.
and, Richard Crooks works just one day a month.
And he only works 1 day a month.
That's correct. He's been here longer, he's been here quite a long time as far as,
Yeah.
time
He's
frame.
just keeping his,
Active
certification up,
spending.
right?
That is, I think that's his purpose, and I think that a previous,
So there's
management
only
felt
two
like
of
that
you.
was a good option, but we definitely need more than that from what we got coming in, so.
Well, I, for one, think we should try to really work on the police department a little bit and, get something settled.
Can you explain
So
that?
that we have at least a chief and maybe one
Oh.
full-time person.
Gotcha. Well, I know that we're looking at, just, that full-time person. There's two things. We've just got some things in the works right now that we just kinda wanna wait and see how things go. And two, I want that to be the right person. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be
Absolutely.
picky, guys, so I apologize, but I'm not gonna rush into a full-timer. I'm gonna say, hey, do you wanna come? And if they're part-time and they're active, and then we can move toward that. But just based on, the needs of the community and really moving toward being a community policing department. I just don't wanna just fill
Okay,
a
so
slot.
you're thinking get someone part-time and see how they work out first
Correct.
before we tie them in for real?
Yes.
Okay. Are you sure one part-time person is gonna do this?
I guess I
Hey,
don't
Richard.
understand your question, one part-time person.
Do you think one person would want to be here for 30
Do
hours
you
a
think-
week?
Yeah, do you think one part-time at 30 hours is gonna cover this, schedule as everybody goes on vacation?
Well,
It
with,
improves what
Bird
we have
working,
right now.
well, with Bird
Yeah.
potentially working and having another, part-timer that's able to do some time. And then if I'm on vacation, if Berg and the part-timer each cover up to 40, it doesn't put them in overtime, but for a couple of weeks while I'm gone, they would be able to, be available a little bit more. I think that would be okay.
And make it more difficult to recover.
I wanna see a whole team, and I think long-term that I would see a team, but I also understand that this is kind of a building process, so.
Okay, have you looked at all the numbers and stuff? I mean, obviously, we must have the money.
You know I'm looking at the numbers first and foremost. We did budget for this. I am comfortable adding one part-timer at this time with the uncertainty in the future. That I would be okay moving forward with one, and until we know what's gonna happen in the fall, I'm not prepared to make any other hires.
Victoria has joined the meeting.
Victoria?
Victoria Devereaux, welcome. Mike Nesbitt, welcome.
Hello.
Still one unknown.
Okay, well, I don't have a problem with the part-time person. It looks a little thin right now, so I think a part-time person would help her schedule well.
Like, free gifts. That's nice. You know, I keep getting something interfering here in my phone, which sounds like a commercial or something. Does anybody else keep catching that?
It's
I'm hearing it.
It's the I muted the unknown person. Whatever, they must be in a car going somewhere. Is what it sounds like.
Okay,
The other,
Hey,
okay.
Julie.
yes, go ahead.
So I noticed your vehicle at the gas station the other day, needs some tires. Do we have that budgeted as well?
That sounds like a softball question that was prepared in advance. If I was not a dumb man.
Well, I can tell you that that's being looked at, but, I'm hoping to get us through till fall and deal with that here in the next month or so. I did get a tire gauge. We are not at, have to get change level quite yet, but, definitely a vehicle maintenance thing that I'll deal with in the next couple of months. To go back real quick to the officer, the other issue for, that part-timer is just needing some weekend night coverage. I'm doing days and I'm doing weekend nights right now, and I'm getting a little old to do the swing shift thing, but, for this time to do that is okay, but I'm looking, really for that weekend night coverage, which we've lost.
Okay.
I'm good with one person at 30 hours a week.
I am too, to start off with and monitor and see how it goes, especially watch our Mondays too, so.
Yeah.
To go ahead and do this, I think a motion will do, won't it?
Yes.
If we can get a motion from the council to hire one part-time person at 30 hours. Did I hear a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion that we hire one part-time police at 30 hours per week for now, and then continue to look at our needs and our money.
Is there support for this motion?
I'll support.
All those in favor? Do we need a roll call on this?
No.
We don't. Okay. All those in favor, aye. Opposed? Sounds like the motion carried. Okay,
Sidewalks.
we're moving on to sidewalks.
Uh,
Let's look at sidewalks.
Don and I met with Spicer via Zoom last week, and we went through our Bolton and Hosmer materials list, and I just thought we should have some kind of standardization on how we demand or ask companies to fix our sidewalks when they come in to do so. So for fiduciary purposes, I asked John to prepare the guidelines, the basics, rather than have them engineer and do a scope of work and the specs that would have cost us a little bit more than this. And I thought this would be a good basis to have when we go out to bid. Obviously, we're kind of watching and waiting with projects as of right now. The Metro Act dollars are available to use for sidewalks should we want. Should we want to approve, say, up to $6,000 or $7,000 worth of concrete this year or next year, but I'd like to go out to bid so that we're getting the best value for our dollar. And I thought this is a good document to have. John, is there anything you'd like to talk to on that?
I didn't catch that part. Yes.
John, this is Chris.
Yes.
This 700-page report is how to put in a sidewalk?
I didn't catch that, Chris.
This 700-page report is how to put in a sidewalk?
Well, that's the technical specs for all the concrete, and yeah, actually, that's only a portion of the document we would put together.
Now, my question was, when I looked at it, do the guys that put in the sidewalks ever look at this? Because it is so complex, you know what I mean?
I've never seen anything like it.
Actually,
I never have either.
the guys, the guys that put it in probably aren't the ones looking at it, but the people they're ordering material from do look at it.
Okay.
Okay, because I thought, wow, we did sidewalks on the planning commission and it was significantly smaller.
Yeah.
Yep.
But do we need to adopt this, or what is our purpose here with this then?
I would like the board to agree that these are the standard specifications for when we move forward with bidding out sidewalks.
Okay.
I didn't get that.
Any other questions? Fine.
What I was saying is I'd like the board to adopt these as the specifications when we eventually go out to bid for sidewalks, as we understand where our money is and as projects become available. We know we have needs out in the community to fix them, and so this is that's what I was asking for.
Okay, so you're asking to keep these on file so that when you go out for bid, you have these to use in the bid process?
Correct,
Is that what you're saying?
correct.
So do you need us to act on them tonight?
I do not. I would hope that this would be the standard and you would approve this as the standard.
Oh, okay. Well,
So we're not going to vote on this tonight?
Well, yeah, these are gonna be the standards,
Yeah.
right?
Correct.
Okay,
What we need is a motion to go ahead and accept these as our standard.
Does it have like a title or anything? There's a whole bunch of stuff in here. What are we thinking?
Chris,
I think you're over there.
Somebody cut out.
Chris, we could put a title page on that for you and a table of contents if you'd like it, make it a little prettier.
Well, no, I just wanna know what to call it when I make the motion.
Yeah, standard sidewalk specifications.
Village of St.
Okay.
Charles sidewalk specs.
I make a motion, we, accept the standard sidewalk specifications as presented.
I will
Is there
second.
support? We have a support.
Yes.
I'll support it.
Sarah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. This will be your new spec for sidewalk.
okay, one
Village of
question
St.
I have
Charles.
here. Who's gonna monitor that hard?
Building inspector.
Yeah.
It'll be
I'm serious, I mean,
it'll
who
be
will be in charge of monitoring that?
it'll be
Is
Scott,
that gonna be,
Don, and myself.
okay,
If you do a big enough project, you'll have an inspector, right?
Correct.
okay.
Yeah.
This is for stuff around town. The maybe 3 square little blocks that are 5 feet apiece, and just make sure that
Okay.
we're doing it the right way.
So you and Don
And Scott.
and Scott will read these and interpret them and make sure that these people do them.
Correct.
Is that right?
Correct. Also,
Okay, I'm just glad I don't have to interpret it, I'll tell you, I just thought, oh my
To
gosh.
the best of
I-
our ability.
and Don says to the best of our ability, and I say, John, can I get the cliff notes?
Exactly, and we'll be there to help.
So I take it we're not allowing any homeowners to put in their own sidewalks?
Probably not, unless, more than likely, no.
More than likely, no.
Okay.
We would expect they would pull a permit and follow these specifications and be a licensed
Well, I
contractor.
think there's an ordinance you gotta change, because I think there's an ordinance that says they can put in their own.
Correct. And
Yeah, I think so too, that they just have to abide by our specifications, there is.
Right.
correct. And those will go forward until the ordinances are changed,
Okay.
which we are also working on in old business apparently.
I think it gives us some uniformity, that way as we move forward, everything will be standardized.
The goal in the future is to bid out and have maybe one company for one summer, one fall. That'll do all of them as needed as the complaints come in. And we'll bid it out yearly so that we have one company do it, and these are the standards, and probably get it out of the ordinance and make this just the policy.
'Cause I-
Okay, sounds good.
And if we do the sidewalk matching grant thing, that way we would have a contractor with specifications to make sure it's done right, so.
Were you able to hear Don?
Can you hear me?
I could not all of it, no.
Hello, can you hear me now?
I hear you now.
Yes.
No, it's just to standardize the process, and then if we ever went to the matching funds for a grant for sidewalks, it would give us a contractor lined up to do everything at once instead of piecemeal. For the year.
Okay. So it looks like we actually put some thought into this, right?
Yes.
Okay. Are we ready to move on?
I Thanks.
old business.
Yes.
Yes.
Moving on to old business. Chicken ordinance.
The first thing that I would
What,
the first thing I would
Alright.
say about the chicken ordinance is that obviously we can bring it up again and talk about it, but it's going to have to go through the planning process. As you know, I was working with Preston.
Has left the meeting.
I was working with Preston Community Services, who is a team of professional planners that have done over 100 municipal ordinances prior to COVID. And so if we were to even to take this up or discuss it any further, it'd have to go back to the planning commission, and we'd have to rewrite all the ordinances as we've already made this change and kind of discuss this to its fullest, I believe.
Well, I'm gonna make a comment. As a planning commission member, we discussed chickens, I don't know how many times. That came up at meeting after meeting in the planning commission and also the village council. I think until that we're working on the ordinances, we don't even need to review that. No opinions of anybody, no information has changed. Yeah, I know 2 people who want them and everybody else in town is telling me absolutely no. So do we even need to discuss it at this time? When it should come up for discussion, it's when we're redoing the ordinances, right?
That is correct.
well, put a moratorium on it for at least a year or 2 and pull that route.
No, I don't wanna put a moratorium on it.
Okay.
We have discussed this until it's ridiculous. And I think what we should do, we can do one of 2 things. We can, make a motion to, talk about chickens again, and if nobody seconds it, it gets tabled forever and it's done. Or we can make a motion to not discuss chickens anymore. Because we've done it enough, we've done it twice at length, and I don't think we need to waste any more time on chickens.
I agree with you completely.
I think the proper forum for this is the planning commission, and I don't think any action is needed, but we can absolutely let the motion die with the full board or the full council here today.
Okay, now repeat that again. I didn't hear that whole thing. What did you think was the proper action?
The proper action is to go through the planning commission when you're rewriting the next set of ordinances. That this council does not need to take any action unless they'd like to let the motion die here permanently until the planning commission approves something for them to vote on.
Okay, I'll agree with that,
Sounds
because
good.
what we need to redo is the whole darn ordinance book, which is just pathetic, okay? Take that one to the bank, because it is. So
Somebody
what do we
make a
do then?
motion so we can not second it.
Well, I'm not gonna make that motion.
Mr. Horner, would you entertain a motion for the future of this council to discuss chickens?
I don't think I can.
Yeah, I would advise you to entertain that motion and see what happens.
Oh, I would entertain that motion to make a motion to change this chicken ordinance.
Well, I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Absolutely not, from my part.
No,
Hearing no second,
No.
the motion dies.
Vote.
that's right.
That's what I said.
All right, marijuana also brought up once again. It was last. The policy you had was adopted February 13th of 2019. I was asked to find information regarding grow versus recreation versus medical. I provided that information. I do have.
Did we get information? I didn't get any information.
Okay.
I didn't either.
Okay, I will have to resend that. I apologize. I will call Adam Flory, who provided the information. I sent it out, I believe, Saturday, but I will call him right now if you have any questions. If not, we can table this for a month and I can get you that information and we can go from there.
Okay, because I only have a thing on local ordinances, and I don't know what that's for.
Okay.
Too, and it didn't kind of fit into anything, I thought.
No, it didn't.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Is there a motion to table it until the next meeting?
I'll make a motion that we table the marijuana ordinance until the next meeting.
I'll support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Bring it up on the next agenda.
Alright, I will get you that information more succinctly.
Moving up to stop signs.
Did anybody go over there and look at all the stop signs we have over there?
Yeah,
I
there's
go
an awful
there
lot of
every
them.
day because my in-laws live on that corner, so my kids play on that corner, and I watch people run it all the time.
I can kind of speak into that as well, doing, patrol. I drive Fulton very regularly, going to Union Court often. My thoughts are, we can remove the one at J in Fulton, but the one at Hosmer in Fulton and Flint in Fulton, they do need to be kept in place. Just based on, the travel on Flint Street, and the flagrant disregard of those signs, and the fact that, Union Court is in there.
Which street did you pick? Jay and Fulton?
We can remove J in Fulton. I feel like that
Yeah.
safely, that could be removed. But we need to keep Hosmer in Fulton and Flint in Fulton, which is the north,
Okay.
on either side of Union Court.
Well, Jay and Fulton was put in because they used to walk from the elementary school to the Catholic school that way, and that neither one of those exists anymore. So I agree with the Jay and Fulton.
This is Don, can I speak as a resident of the area? Can you hear me?
Yep.
What?
This is Don speaking, and can I speak as a resident living in that area?
Yeah.
I would not be in favor of removing any of the stop signs. People, they can accumulate a high rate of speed as it is, and I don't know, it just seems like, I don't know what it is, but they seem to go really fast and not
On Fulton.
regard, on Fulton,
Mhm,
yes.
yeah.
And even on Clinton there too, they kinda seem
Oh,
to
yeah.
pick up a lot of speed, so, but that's just my
Are-
two
are
cents.
some of-
So it really does slow everybody down.
If they obey them.
Yeah, this is Diana, and I just think that whole area of town is exceedingly scary. I mean, I tend to poke, you understand what I mean? Because you never know what's gonna come at you where, all right? That's my point of view. I don't know how you can make people pay attention to those to begin with, before there's a bad wreck there, but, I think it's a scary area. That's my point.
I lived there half my life.
Okay.
Yeah, Chris, you're well aware of the area, so.
Oh, absolutely.
I would look at
I'm
maybe,
okay with it. I just brought it up because somebody brought it up to me. I personally don't care. I don't go over there that much anymore, so. But there are a lot of stop signs over there.
yeah, I think that we could address the height of those stop signs and even, people in there's a lot of foliage around those corners, and I think that's the part when someone had said it was kinda scary. You just don't see some of those signs until that last minute, so.
You don't. They jump up on you and you're halfway
Mhm.
through the intersection.
Yep.
Especially if
Yeah,
you
we did.
And they have
Have an
to.
ordinance about
know where they were.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to look up in the ordinances, because we did have an ordinance, and I don't know if that one I haven't looked up, that you couldn't block intersections with foliage, trees, anything, right? So I think that we need to look into that and make some of that go away.
Well, it's most of the clear view areas on the corners that have to be kept clean.
Right.
They're okay over there. There's worse places in town with foliage in the way.
Right.
I go through the
Well, I
every
think
day,
they're
and
fine.
I think the signs are a good idea.
Let's just leave them there and go on.
Okay.
Anybody else have an opinion? If not, we'll move on to department report. DPW report, any questions? Oh, yeah. Sorry.
DPW.
DPW report, anybody have any questions of them?
Did we end up buying a, thing for lost power, what do you call it, a generator thing?
On the East Maple lift station, there is backup power.
Okay.
And the school lift station, we have to run a portable down there to it, but we have one.
Okay, and we do have a portable one to run down there.
Yes, we do for the school lift station.
During the flood, did we end up short on those?
Not during the flood, but the last 2.5 inch rain when the power went out, we did because the flood pumps
Okay.
could not be ran.
Did we talk about buying a second one? Or whatever number it would be last month?
We talked about maybe another 4-inch pump. We did not talk about another generator.
Did you do that?
We have not purchased one, no. Are we looking to get a bid on one? I know it wasn't in the budget this year, so I guess we really haven't.
Well, like, what do they cost? Do they cost $1,000, $5,000? What's the price?
For a new gas-powered 4-inch pump with all the accessories, you're probably looking around $3,000, plus or minus a couple $100.
Don't you think that would be worth, to make you feel more secure if something happens?
It would definitely be of assistance when we lost power like we did on all pump stations, flood and storm sewer, you know, and the sanitary.
Right.
So, because we have 4 flood pump stations to run and 1 sanitary off a generator, and we only have 1 backup generator. And on the storm sewer pumps,
Well, I mean, I did notice that we've run down the equipment fund significantly, but, I don't think $3,000 is gonna kill it.
well, I can get a bid on one, and how about we bring it to the board meeting next month? Does that sound?
Okay, what do you think, Howard?
Hey, Don?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Don, you mentioned, you mentioned a 4-inch pump. We're talking a generator, right?
No, this would be a 4-inch gas pump. Not a generator.
Oh.
Generator, I think.
I think what they're talking about is a generator.
Well, I can get a price on a generator to run it, but I believe that would be significantly higher than that 3, because it's.
How big a one you figure you need?
The one we have.
10,000 work, or you need one bigger?
We need probably at least a 10K or bigger to run those flood pumps. It's a good size. They're 2 big electric motors that run those. They're 2 6-inch pumps, electric pumps in each storm sewer. I can get both.
Are those 3-phase or are they single-phase?
No, I believe they're 3-phase.
So that's gonna be a bigger generator yet, or alternator, generator, whatever you wanna call it. So that's gonna be a more expensive one yet to get a 3-phase.
I mean, the 4-inch gas pumps, usually, I mean, it's very rare that we lose power on everything we did, but it's a big inconvenience, but I think a gas, if we had 2 4-inch gas pumps, we can get by, but I can get a price on a generator also if you'd like to, just so we would know, another portable.
I just wondered, that's what they started out talking about, and then we ended up talking about a pump.
I was telling Hart too, there may be a possibility that I can get a generator for scrap value from another municipality, but that's kinda, I'm working on it right now, so we'll see where that goes. I don't think it needs a lot of work, but I think we can get it very reasonable, so if we can do that, that would help a lot.
Okay.
Good.
My thoughts are that
Round that up, bring it to the next meeting, and we'll talk it over.
sounds good.
Sounds good.
And I think the savings with the loader and the snow blade, there would be enough money or a little leeway in the equipment fund to do this. That is if it comes in $3,000 plus or minus $100, but We shall see.
He's giving me the evil eye right now.
That don't sound good.
But,
I have a question on the Eagle Lagoon inspection. How did that go?
I think pretty well. She went over everything and she goes over all the paperwork and the reporting and looks at the operation of the lagoons and the condition of the dikes and the ponds and, but it is a 5-year report. It's not a 1-year report, so there was a couple things she was gonna mention, but they're not significant. It was mostly reported. So, and we've corrected that, so. But I think it went pretty well. Jenny was in on it. Do you think it, with Jill?
She seemed pretty pleased, especially with all the paperwork and everything like that, and then you guys went out on site, so it seemed like it went okay. She said we were very helpful.
And we should be getting a paper report back in the future. I don't know what her time frame is, but.
Okay. Any further questions
Are
on
they
the
playing
report?
ball at the ball diamond?
Yes, there's a softball game going on.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Nope. Good job, Don.
Well, thank you, Chris. We tried.
Okay.
We just want to get
Let's
back to
move on to the
normal.
next report, police department report. Any questions on that?
We're not
Apparently
quite
not.
as busy right now with COVID, but we're doing our base work right now because, after this all settles, the anticipation countywide really is that things are gonna get a little excited, especially following the George Floyd incident, being Saginaw County. So we're just, making preparations for what would possibly be next, so.
How did your, cap and cones thing go?
We gave out, I believe, 40, cones or, slushies. We have another one coming up Wednesday of next week. We have another caps and cones coming up.
Okay.
Just, having fun, connecting, again, just making those citizen contacts. It went well.
I just wanted to say,
The Lions Club was thrilled that you helped hand out copies, so that was great too.
Yeah, I think that we were hinted at, and we were even told that it's important, but I know it is just important to become part of the fabric of the community, and that
Yeah.
just means being involved in Legion and Lions and the local churches and shopping at Frank's and just being a part of the community. So and
I
if you
agree.
get to get out on the road and
Jill
dance
even
and stuff.
called me up north and said how wonderful you were and that we should not lose you. She's the head of the Legion, so.
Yeah, and I worry about that too. You are very, very visible. I know people call you, you gotta hear this, the girl cop. So if you're feeling old sometime, remember that. But you get a lot of really good feedback, so
Well, thank you, I appreciate it.
you're very visible.
speaking of the feedback, I was unable to actually forward everything to Hartman, but there is a group on Facebook who a lady in our community commented about the cops and cones, and she put a picture of Julie with her daughter, and I'm not even kidding you, that page had like 400 comments from people in the village just raving about Julie, so that is awesome.
I know. It is awesome.
We appreciate your
So
hard
keep it
work,
up, Julie.
Thank you, it's absolutely my pleasure.
I feel like
Okay. Building inspector report. Anybody have any questions of Scott? Yeah. Yeah, he's gotta go out and build more houses. Yes.
Yes. And I like the acting complaint lawn.
Tear down some
Yeah,
old
I
ones,
just
too.
was
I
there.
do, it's done very nicely this time, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it gives us an idea what's really going on.
Right, and that's, so if we hear stuff, then we know.
Okay? If there's nothing else, do we have any more comment or public comment? Apparently not. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Okay.
Support?
I'll
I'll support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you all for attending tonight. It's been a pleasure working with you, and have a good week.
You too.
We'll see you.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.